We're here at the University of Central Florida in Orlando with Dr. Bradley Willenberg, assistant scientist at the College of Medicine. He has developed a mosquito surveillance tool which helps detect mosquitoes that are carrying disease, which is very important given the Zika outbreak spreading around the country. So thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
I have to ask, as someone who absolutely loathes and abhors mosquitoes, why would you get into this line of work, working with these creatures?
I was working with someone at the USDA, and we were talking about problems that they have in the field, tools that they need to monitor mosquitoes and surveil them and find out where they are and what diseases they have. Through these conversations, he would say, well, we really need a tool that can do this, could just change color or something simple that could show where the mosquitoes are and if they have disease, so it doesn't have to be away in a lab.
And again, a lot of people don't realize, but mosquitoes are responsible for more deaths in the world than any other creature.
Not themselves directly, but the diseases that they carry. Of course, malaria, and then there's all these different viruses that they carry, which is what my tool is specifically angling at right now.
The Zika virus was first identified in Uganda in 1947. Though similar to other diseases transmitted by mosquitoes, it is not fatal.
The difference is that we're basically the only hosts other than non-human primates, and they weren't really appreciating, because there was very low incidence and people might not even know that they were ill, that how it might be correlated with birth defects, which is sort of what's been driving a lot of the concern right now, is that there seems to be this relationship with Zika infection and severe birth defects to the fetus.
Dr. Willenberg and his colleagues have developed a mosquito surveillance tool which helps to detect mosquitoes that are infected with the Zika virus.
And it looks like a really simple, or at least in concept, it seems like a simple concept, but it's actually quite complex and complicated, including nanotechnologies and things of that nature. Try to break it down.
The initial devices that we've made were all supposed to be unpowered, have no moving parts. They're kind of this wick and reservoir sort of idea where you might have a diffuser in your house that has a fragrance in there and have these wicks coming out. That's kind of the same idea that we're having, except the device is kind of all in one there. So all you have to do is kind of squeeze it and activate it and get the wick soaked.
The traps and diagnostic tools are designed to be simple enough for anyone to operate, maintain, and identify. They are cheap to manufacture and require no power, making them ideal for use even in the most remote areas of the world.
Then inside there, as you said, there'll be this nanotechnology in the solution, these little gold particles. And all these little gold particles will be specifically kind of sticky or recognize virus, let's say, that when they do that, they bind up the virus, and when they bind, they cause a color change in that solution. So they start off as kind of a red solution, but then when they're in the presence of virus, they kind of come together, and that changes the solution color to more of a blue. So that's kind of a simple way to read out. So of course you can think it's very high tech, how to make the little particles and all the science about how it changes the color and how to make them sticky for the particular viruses, but it's at the end of the day, it's just like, oh, did it change color or not?
Dr. Sudipta Seal helped Dr. Willenberg develop the solution containing the engineered gold nanoparticles.
The plain definition of nanotechnology is science of small, and the layman term will be, you take a human hair and slice it 10,000 times, that one of 10,000 times, that small we're talking about. And in that level, you can actually play with these atoms and molecules the way you like to control them. One of our things was making nanoparticles that has unique properties that can change when it sees something in the environment. And one such thing was gold. It's a different color. This is a gold chain. Looks golden, but if you make them very tiny molecules, they are red looking, like red wine.
Using nanotechnology, Dr. Seal is able to reprogram gold particles at the molecular level, making them adhere to specific viruses in the mosquito's bloodstream, which then changes color.
So the color definitely will change from red to different varieties of color spectrum. Okay. But most importantly is that, as I said, this teeny little gold with decorated with different food structure, that the virus will only get attracted to that certain recognition of the food, and that will give that change in the spectrum and will pick up this signal this is what it is.
Dr. Willenberg shows us a mosquito cage where they grow the insects.
So these are our adult Aedes aegypti. We grow them up, and this is one of the cages in our adult mosquito colony here at UCF College of Medicine. We use these mosquitoes, we dissect some of their tissues away, get saliva from them to do our development of our tools for. Just kind of, we always have kind of a stockpile, because you can imagine not one mosquito doesn't have very much saliva, or you got to run a lot of tests on different mosquitoes, so you need lots of them.
A lot of them, yeah.
A lot of them, yeah. So this is a mosquito cage.
They arrive as individual eggs, which are counted, weighed, and sorted.
I think most of the public knows that they tend to grow in water, right?
Yeah, it's all their life cycle is all in water, and they start off kind of shake them up in water, and then they sink, and then the first larval stage comes out, and they spend about a week going through different larval stages, about 4 stages.
Depending on the surrounding conditions, mosquitoes can live from a few weeks to a couple of months.
And they can go through several egg generation cycles. They can have a number of times where they generate eggs, the females. Remember, only the females do the blood feeding and the egg generation. The males feed exclusively on sugars. Like
right, so
nectar.
if you get bit, it's always by a female. And I think we also learned today that the males sometimes, if you have a mosquito buzzing around your head but it's not biting you, it's probably a male.
That's right.
Attracting the females.
Yeah. And then the females also, they attract each other by their wing beats and let them know where the food is.
Dr. Willenberg shows us a concept cage his team created in order to lure mosquitoes to the testing solution.
This patterning actually is something that there's that light and dark patterning can attract the mosquitoes, and so it would come in, and then they would from the lure, and then they would feed on the sugar water, and they would ingest the particles, and if they had no virus, then they would stay red, kind of, and if they had a virus, then they would change color.
With the Zika virus continuing to threaten more and more areas of the world, including right here in the United States, the research being conducted at the University of Central Florida is incredibly important.
Well, fascinating stuff. Dr. Bradley Willenberg, thanks for having us.
Oh, no, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.